James hasn't eaten in 3 days. He bought a meal at a convenience store, but all his money wasn't enough to pay for it. He thought of paying with a song, but the owner angrily threw the food into the water and kicked him out. Hungry and cold, he just wanted to find a place to sleep, but everywhere was wet. Finally, he met his drug addict friend. He invited James into a car that the owner had forgotten to lock and gave him a good thing. James wasn't up to the challenge. The next day, the careless owner came back. The junkie just ran off, and James passed out in the car. He couldn't be woken up. Finally woke up in the hospital. Seeing his own drug rehabilitation doctor, James felt very guilty. The doctor gave him a lot of advice and got him a shelter. Finally, this junkie homeless man had a peaceful home. Looking around the house, James was speechless with excitement. On his first night in his new home, there was a special guest. An orange cat snuck in through the window and ate his cereal. James was quick to entertain him and gave him food. Then he took him in for the night. James planned to take it to its owner in the morning. The next day, James asked around the neighborhood, but couldn't find the owner, so he released him into the wild. Then James went to the streets to perform for a living, but a staffer chased him away. And then he saw his father, but his father just wanted to get away from him, and his stepmother hated him even more. Finally, he gave James some money to get rid of him. He returned home in despair. Unexpectedly, the orange cat was lying in front of his house, and it was bleeding. James didn't know what to do with it, so he asked his neighbor for help. Betty gave her a nice name, Bob. She said Bob's wounds were probably infected and needed treatment. After treatment, Bob came back alive and well. The doctor told James to pick up the medicine. When James pulled out a handful of change, the nurse looked at him with a blank face, so James had to pay with next week's food bill. Then James tried to feed Bob his pills, a difficult task for a novice owner. He had no choice but to find Betty again, so the male cat, Bob, did as he was told. The next day, James was ready to hit the streets again, but Bob followed him all the way. He even snuck onto a bus. Everyone looked at him with curiosity. Bob went straight up to the second level and jumped on top of James. In the middle of the street, James asked Bob to jump on his shoulder, and the smart guy got the message right away. So the combination of one man and one cat was a sight to see on the street. People wanted to pet this cute little kitten, and that got James a lot more attention than he normally gets. This day is worth a week's worth of income. James gave Bob an excited high five. He felt happier than he'd ever felt before.